a consequence of living close to a bar, but he's had a few people in that alleyway. One gentleman, I think, fell asleep drunkenly in his driveway. There's not a whole lot he could have done. That's call the police to remove them. I think he wants to just secure his lots a little better. Again, these are properties that I don't think unless you looked at them on a plat map, you'd really know were county properties. I don't know that the vacation of these properties causes any no encumbrance or disadvantage to the public. Again, unless you know that they're county thoroughfares, I don't know that anybody would know they're actually supposed to be county maintained alleyways. Except any questions you have, it's fairly straightforward. I promised my dad I'd be short-winded. Again, any questions that you had, the petition, I believe I prepared the ordinance. I want to thank Mr. Tankersley. He actually had a few suggestion revisions on that before I made it to you. So that's why I was here. I'm sorry. That's why I was on the schedule for December. I'm now here in February.
There's an alleyway on the west side of the property as well, right?
Yes, there's one that runs north and south on the west side of the property, but we don't want that to be vacated. There's a property owner back there
Right.
to the northwest of the property that's how he accesses his.
So my question is there access to that alley other than these two thoroughfares that you want vacated? Can that person get to that alley on the west side without using these two?
Yes, and I believe that Mr. Eggleston had spoken with that property owner just to say that, the fence will be set back far enough, because I don't think he runs some heavy equipment up that alleyway to access his parcel and his property back there. Again, it was my understanding he spoke with him and the property owner was fine with it. He is going to make sure that when he puts that private fence up, it is large enough so that the gentleman that accesses his parcel through that alleyway, because I think that is the only way he can access his parcel, can run his heavy equipment up and down that alley.
Right, yeah. I know in one of the statements, it talked about the public way not currently be used as a thoroughfare, so I didn't know whether there's some thought there about it's not currently being used, but it could be used, and it can't if we close them.
Sure. No, and I guess that's true of any vacated alleyway. Again, the alleyway that runs to the south of the property, I don't think anybody would know is an alleyway because it's grass. So I think the one maybe you're speaking of is the one to the north of the schoolhouse that actually looks like a gravel driveway, and that's a fair point. Again, I don't know who uses it now, if anybody uses it now, but I guess that's the case with the closing of any thoroughfare. Is technically speaking, it could be used by the public, and I guess after vacation, it won't be. But I guess I don't really have a good explanation for that. I think, again, the purpose of just the vacation is to secure the property. In large part, I think there's been some issues over there that he's had, but we certainly understand that the public is losing an alleyway that could otherwise be traversed.
Okay. Since this is a hearing, we have time for public comments. Or Kevin, does all the documentation in place?
Yeah, Justice Office reached out to me. They notified all the property owners by certified mail, all the adjacent property owners, and they published notice according to the statute. And yes, you're right, it is a public hearing, so you need to hear from anybody here that has objections to it.
Yes. Come forward to the mic, please, and state your name.
I'm Dennis Olson. I go by Tony Olson, but my family is the owners of all the lots back behind that drive would impede us from getting to our lots. Off the top of my head, there's 5 or 6 lots that are still deeded from Pulaski back there that we own. Currently, it's just used for storage, but if the alleyways or that road is vacated, it would impede us from, 1, being able to get back to our property, and 2, in the foreseeable future, if we ever go to sell those lots, it would be not advantageous to have that road shut down, or the alleyway for that matter. So that's more or less my or our objection to it.
The 14-foot alley in the front yard is just grass. Would that bother you in any way?
In front of it,
Yeah, because in the front yard, nobody would know
Right, yeah, you're talking, immediately in front of it, not just straight south.
And there's a platted 14-foot alley.
Right.
In the front yard.
Right, that we have no objection with, but the other alleyway and then obviously the Reedaboo Road, we would have objection with.
40-foot one behind it.
Correct,
Ties into your vacant lot.
correct,
Which are over here.
correct,
And
yes.
this road, is there a town road right there?
I can't see what you're.
Well, I can't see on the map, but, I'm pretty sure I looked at it from WebGIS. Your lots are over here.
No.
This ties into the town. This is the front yard. There's nothing there.
Correct. This is the front yard, there's nothing there with this alleyway, and then this would go back to our property. Correct. Yes.
Their lots are in the northwest corner.
Base, you're just concerned about keeping the Rudabush Street open, would that be right, Tony?
Yes, that'd be correct.
The other alley could be closed?
The alley to the front, I have no issues with that being closed. But the one to the west would be, I would like to keep it as open as well.
Okay. Any other questions for Tony?
Thank you.
Anyone else here to speak towards hearing? Okay, well, for comments, guess we don't want to see anyone landlocked in, which would, it would appear that if the Rudabush Street was vacated, that would be what would happen. Is that clear?
Vacated, it becomes the property owner. The split in half, and our property goes to the two adjacent property owners. And yes, we're giving up ownership of it, or county would have to use eminent domain sometime in the future to try to get back. Probably would not be able to. The one in the front, I mean, I don't know, that's never been used in my knowledge. It's just grass.
Mike, any comment?
I'll make a motion to not close the lots open. The big equipment's got back in there to get it out. They put a privacy fence in. There'd be consequences. Need to be left at it.
What about this?
So, no, you're including
14
both of
foot in
them?
the front yard, if they want to close it, I see no problem. Reedaboo Lane, each.
Okay, I would second that. So we have a motion and a second to still maintain the Rudabush Road, but give permission to vacate 14-foot alley. Any other discussion? Kevin?
That's fine, just if you could just approve that in substance, and then, I would, Justin should send me, this draft ordinance in Word, and I'll take a look at it and get any changes I want, and then, we'll make a signature next time.
Okay, so we will come back with an ordinance later, but at this point, Kevin said we would just be approving this in substance. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Gary?
Yeah, Gary Kruger with the Highway. I just need to announce today that we're going to award our Community Crossings 2023-2 to Town and Country Paving.
Okay. So, we have a motion there. It's a contract, so we have to approve. Contract. I would make that motion.
I'll second it.
So our crossing grant goes to Town and Country, 2023-2 grant. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're down to other business. We have the approval of the claims payroll number 44.
I looked through them. motion. Payroll.
I would second that motion. All in favor, say aye. And we have our minutes from the February 5th meeting that were sent to us. Need approval and motion for that.
Motion to approve the minutes, the February 5th.
I'd second that. Favor, say aye. And then next we have the bond for the sheriff employees theft forgery. Is, I believe, out of $10,000 on that.
Make a motion. Sheriff.
Second that. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we have a conference request, Edwina Guffey, the annual training, septic systems held in Plainfield, March 6th and 7th. Need a motion to approve this conference.
Make a motion to approve for the health officer. Do that.
Second that. Favor, say aye. Down to discussion items. Received a email from our current time clock payroll software people saying that we need to update. I think this was brought up to council in the past, and it was kind of requested that we wait until the remodeling is done at the courthouse before we purchase any new equipment. And that would also give us time maybe to do a comparison on other time clock vendors and software for that same purpose. So this is just a point of information. Expensive, so we would give us time to say we'll put that in the 2025 budget. Still, as I said, give us time to explore other companies that supply the same service.
Make a motion to table it till.
Second that. Favor, say aye. And the last item, had during our joint session, Kirpsey is purchasing 2 vans for the county, basically to support children. These are somewhat unique vans because state law requires seat belts, harness type things, so they're fairly expensive. They came and requested, they're lacking $36,000, still writing grants to try and get that covered. We tabled that at our joint session meeting, and we're just bringing it back today. And I think we could probably help pay for part of that. We would go $8,000 on each van. That would give them 16, and then we'd have 20,000 more that they would have to come up with through grants. And we've purchased equipment out of our ARPA funds. So I guess I would make that motion to give the Kirpsey people $8,000 per van, and that money being taken from the ARPA funds.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Any questions on that, Mike?
that.
Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any other community comments? Hey, Gary?
Yeah, I had, Matt Bristol with the Jasper County REMC had reached out to me about putting a new fiber installation in the west corner. And him or I got on the commissioners meeting. So he is here this morning to basically give a brief update of what their project might look like.
Good morning. My
Could
name's Matt.
could you restate your name, please?
My name is Matt Bristol with Jasper County REMC. I am broadband manager for the new fiber project that we're kicking off in Jasper County, as well as hopefully in Pulaski County, and some other surrounding counties. I apologize I didn't bring an easel to place this on, but here's our map. So we were awarded grant funding from the state of Indiana to deliver broadband to underserved areas. Some time ago in 2021, we bid on some addresses basically in the 421 corridor that is underserved, residents, businesses, and whatnot in that area. So this is kind of going off of our grant funds. We've engineered the entire solution now. It's about 10 to 15 miles of fiber inside of Pulaski County, the majority of which is following 421, the 421 corridor. But we do have some county roads going through to 421 as well. I guess my big thing is we just want to communicate, and work with you in your county here in the highway department. When we come to install that fiber, what do we need to do? How do we need to follow? Do we need permits? Do we not need permits? We just don't want to create any problems. Currently, we have a project going for 130 miles of fiber, 138 miles of fiber in Jasper County, and that does include the project inside of Pulaski County as well. We would hope to be completed with this project before June, start providing high-speed internet to those residents in that area before June, or around June. We have started on the Jasper County side. So we are already starting construction. They would like to start in Pulaski County if we have the approval to move forward and work with the highway department here to make sure we're not creating any problems. We are boring all of our fiber optic into the ground, so there's no open trenches. So we won't be just ripping the ground. We'll be going underneath everything, right about 36 inches. We will locate everything that's in the way prior to all utilities. They actually open up the ground so we don't create any problems in your county. We will go on whatever rules you have as far as highways go, as far as regulated drain tiles and whatnot. We will go, currently in Jasper, we're going 60 inches below any regulated drain tile. Not sure exactly what the rules are for Pulaski County. It requires the same, which we're willing to follow whatever we need to do to make it a good project and not create any problems for Pulaski County. We've got a pretty good relationship with Jasper County commissioners and whatnot, and they're excited and we're excited. So I hope we can be excited together as well in Pulaski County to get some high-speed internet to those homes in that area.
Is your company bonded in any way, like in Jasper County?
We have a state highway bond that we run through for state highway. State highway is going to be responsible for that 421 corridor as well. So we are bonded with the state of Indiana. I've submitted them a bond. Our contractors are bonded to us as well, who are actually doing the work. They have bond, and we have retainage set aside just in case of any.
We have several companies on this side of the county who want to remain consistent, so I don't know the process. Kevin, do you know that?
You just need to talk to the building department. I mean, obviously, we're in favor of any fiber that we put into our county. We're trying to get broadband to every single citizen.
Okay.
And the county, if we can, so it's great if you've got a grant that's going to cover part of it. Need to talk to Carla at our building department and see whether or not there's any permitting that you need to have done.
Okay.
But otherwise, you don't need permission from the commissioners to
Okay.
put it in the ground as long as you're in compliance with our ordinance, which I'm sure you will be. Right?
Okay. Yeah, it's a 50-50. I talked with Carla already, I believe, coming up into this meeting. She said there was no permits, if I could work with Gary and make sure that we're not creating any problems for Gary, particularly and his crew. So, okay.
We have a drainage board meeting after this meeting, so we will mention that to her as well in case there's tile there and so on. That
Okay.
we'd be aware of.
I did provide Gary some maps where we would be. I'll talk with Gary afterwards if they're sufficient for what his needs are in the drainage.
And Gary can copy those maps for our drainage board as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just work with Gary.
Yeah.
You keep them happy.
All right. Sounds good. Sounds good. I appreciate your time, everyone. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
We appreciate you coming and sharing. Anyone else? Morning.
Scott Hinkle, Central Paving. I just have a couple questions on the community crossing. I hope Kevin and Gary can justify some answers for me. Last year's community crossing grant, my understanding, there was $18,000 of fees that was not accounted for in the bid. So I'm assuming Gary paid that out of his local funding and not the community crossing
I
money.
don't know exactly.
And
Talking about it. I don't know where the money came
so that ruled me out last year. This year, Gary wrote the specs. And how can you justify a complete bid from my competitor when it was not listed anywhere in the bid?
Their position is that the traffic control, which is what we're talking about, was included in their overall project bid under their general terms and conditions. The bids last year showed a separate billing for $18,000 for traffic control. Was not itemized in their bid this time, but they said it was covered. Your bid was 49,000 higher, so it would have been a stretch to suggest that there was going to be $49,000 worth of traffic control when this project is about half the size of last year's project. So we had to make an informed decision about whether or not their bid was a reasonable and responsible bid to the bid specs. We did that. Unfortunately, that means that they were the low bidder and that contract was given to them. I realize that you guys had been informed.
I completely understand that. And I think over the last 2 or 3 years, I would suggest the highway hire an engineering firm to eliminate all this turmoil. I think it'd be in the best interest of everybody, just for no hard feelings and all this. I think an engineering firm would handle this a lot better than the highway has been.
Certainly take that into consideration. We talked to our highway department about the importance of bid specs being as accurate as possible because companies like yours are relying on those to make these bid proposals. And these are large dollar projects. So I understand the frustration and I appreciate your understanding this time when we talk on the phone.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, my name is Rodney Urbano. I'm with Town and Country Paving. And I would completely agree with Scott in regards to having a standard spec for the bid documents. It would certainly make life easier comparing apples to apples for everybody. As far as last year's bid and our spec goes with the difference, I'd be happy to discuss it with Scott or whomever, but we did bid. The additional was not the mobilization or the maintenance of traffic. That was in the bid, but I'd be happy to go over that. But I just want to express that sentiment. There are agencies, LTAP, Asphalt Pavement Association, that will be happy to provide the county with standard specifications and bid forms so you can get identical bidding. And we're definitely in favor of that. So.
Okay, thank you, Rodney.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, we would need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.